On the outskirts of Kreegon 7, stacks of crystalline spires loomed against the purple twilight, casting jagged shadows over gleaming labs filled with alien scholars. Their leader, Dr. Pher'ta Cresh, adjusted the lenses of his ocular implants, scanning the data swirling around him like a holographic tempest. Lately, he'd been grappling with an outrageous hypothesis: humanity, not their machines, not their towering edifices, had somehow produced the most advanced predator the galaxy had ever seen. And it was small, furry, and remarkably unassuming. Fascinating. The edges of Pher'ta's beak-like mouth curled into a perplexed smile as he observed a flickering feed from the human settlement on Terra 9. In one frame, a tabby cat lounged, licking its paw. In another, it deftly stalked a fly that had landed perilously close. Beneath it all, though, was a keen intelligence, masked by an unassuming exterior. Dr. Cresh, chimed Gorgax, his mechanical assistant with 2 functional arms and an assortment of rusty joints, filling the silence that hung in the lab. Your tenacity regarding these cats is commendable, but can you explain why they matter? They are but furred creatures. Furred creatures with the capacity to adapt, Pher'ta corrected, rising from his chair. His tentacle-like arms gestured towards the screens. Observe their problem-solving abilities. Every day, they utilize scavenging tactics and community cooperation with greater efficiency than any of our species. Gorgax's sensors whirred. Admirable, yes, but are they not your glorified pests? Flesh unworthy of designation in the annals of galactic prowess? They are far from pests, my friend. Pher'ta let a chuckle escape, though it felt strange in his throat. Or did you not note how they sometimes convert their humans into housemates, replacing our more intelligent interspecies arrangements? With a metal grating noise, Gorgax's head tilted, processing this angle. And even with all this potential, they remain pets? That's exactly the point. Their adaptability is what makes them dangerous. Imagine, what if they suddenly decided to band together, pooling their cunning to breed a superior variant? It could threaten sentient life across the galaxy. As Pher'ta continued analyzing, a sense of urgency gnawed at the back of his mind. He couldn't ignore the creeping fear that his solitary study might lead to an unintended consequence. The more he learned about these Earth-based felines, the more disquiet rattled his bones. Find me another feed, he ordered. One from the latest community attempts to isolate these creatures at the Terran Institute of Advanced Cognizance. Gorgax clicked his joints in acknowledgement and turned back to his duties. Pher'ta returned to his observations, his thoughts racing. The humans had taken exceptional strides in every sector, even studying their own pets as subjects for experiment. An alert chimed, and words scrolled across the main screen: cat rugby, humans use feline skills and strategic competition. The accompanying video showed a gathering of humans outdoors, engaging in a bizarre sport that involved rolling balls and makeshift pitches while coaxing their cats to join in. Look, Gorgax. They employ these supposed servants in team interactions, he exclaimed. That is advantageous for entertainment value, Gorgax replied flatly. But little more. With a sigh, Pher'ta pivoted in frustration. Why can't you see it, Gorgax? These humans abuse their own systemic hierarchy, yet they thrive. They've managed, against all odds, to unlock their potential. Just think of how swiftly they could evolve if pressured into broader challenges. Perhaps they thrive within their civilization while they rely on pets, Gorgax muttered, dragging the data display over. But declaring them the galaxy's predatory geniuses? That is mere infatuation. Infatuation? The words ricocheted around the lab. You're blind. Look at this. Pher'ta flicked a hand to bring up an archive shot from years past. Archival footage of an interspecies invasion on Terran soil. Numerous felines awaited as children wreaked havoc upon invading drones. Gorgax paused, allowing the images to sink in. So? The children hunted drones, using cats for assistance? Yes, Pher'ta marveled, breathing deeply to steady his rising excitement. They taught the animals basic commands, at such a young age. They showcased the capability of problem solving together, with intelligence permeating through their lineage. Fascinating. Gorgax tilted his metal limbs in a mock bow. You might need to retract that infatuation to the name, humans. But perhaps we can explore this further, Dr. Cresh. Can one human vis their cat yield results? Pher'ta paused, struck by the suggestion. You mean procuring contact with one of these? Symbiotic pairs? Combining forces? Exactly. As close as a cellular analysis might prove these homebred felines' genius, the interaction could yield deeper insights. Gorgax whirred thoughtfully, clicking hard drives into the center. The thought carried weight, a fleeting glimpse into the uncharted. Just as Pher'ta was about to reply, a sudden alert splashed across the lab's screens. A visual of chaos erupted, a human child declaring war against a fleet of soaring drones, accompanied by an exuberant feline bounding alongside. The spectacle sent an exhilarated shudder through the alien scientist. A flicker of hope ignited in his mind, a path to discovery amid boundaries created by their respective species. Contact Terra 9's Institute. We are sending a proposal. I need a human and their cat, Pher'ta commanded, the fervor in his voice unmistakable. The next step could define intergalactic evolutionary theory. And just like that, Pher'ta Cresh let ambition propel him into the unknown, excited by the prospect of learning how the brightest predators, albeit furry, could reshape the narrative of their civilization. As the sun slipped below the horizon, casting a soft, golden hue on the gleaming towers of the Terran Institute of Advanced Cognizance, Dr. Pher'ta Cresh paced the sterile confines of their interstellar communication center. His heart raced with anticipation and uncertainty. Though he had solidified his hypothesis regarding felines as natural predators evolving alongside humans, the practical implication of interacting with a human and their cat sent a shiver of apprehension through his delicate form. Transmitting our proposal now, Dr. Cresh, Gorgax chimed, his voice crackling over the communicator. The response should arrive shortly. The beeping of incoming transmissions punctuated the air, each sound pulling tighter the threads of anxiety coiling within Pher'ta. What if they dismissed his ideas? What if the humans rejected him entirely? The concept of an alien scrutinizing their seemingly trivial pets might appear outlandish, even absurd. Then the console chimed with an alert and a soft voice echoed through the intercom, Dr. Cresh, can we establish a visual feed? Gorgax turned to him, both gears and expressions unreadable for a moment before nodding. With a flourish of their intergalactic projector, a holographic image of a human appeared before him, clad in denim and an oversized tee with a cat's face adorning the fabric. Hello, the human's voice was cautious, her eyes narrowing at the strange, multi-limbed figure shimmering into focus. Greetings. Pher'ta greeted enthusiastically, his beak-like mouth forming a strange smile. I am Dr. Cresh from Kreegon 7. I am here regarding... well, your cats. Creepy. The human squinted, arms crossed, clearly skeptical of alien interest in her pets. So, what's your deal? The query originates from your tabloids, he launched into it, excitement coursing through him as he recounted his studies. Your domesticated felines, scientifically, they exhibit remarkable intelligence and adaptability. A stark contrast to many of our species who often rely too heavily on technology. The human's brow raised, intrigued yet guarded. And what? You think they're going to take over the galaxy or something? War of the Cats? She chuckled, albeit uneasily. Actually, yes. Adaptation in optimal conditions could pave the way for a superior variant. Pher'ta leaned closer. I propose a collaborative study of one of your pet-human partnerships. Can you facilitate this? The environment shifted, her posture relaxing slightly. I guess I could. I have a cat named Whiskers. The hint of pride beneath the skepticism ignited Pher'ta's intrigue. But you might be surprised, Whiskers isn't exactly your usual feline genius. And yet combining your insights and strengths can elicit greater understanding. Tell me, what is Whiskers most known for? diving into boxes, napping, and knocking things off tables. You know, cat stuff? She chuckled. Pher'ta paused, evaluating the response. That does pose a critical question, does it not? What purpose does a box serve for Whiskers? Surely there is more beneath the surface. The human furrowed her brow, thinking deeply. I guess it gives him a sense of security. A space to feel safe. Cats like being in tight spots, it's instinctual, I think. Precisely. Safety and analysis are crucial for any intelligent creature. Please, allow us to study this behavior, we must see Whiskers in situ. With a newfound resolve, the human responded, all right, I'll contact you when I have her here, but no promises, Doc. And you better not poke her with anything weird. As the holograph blinked off, a rush of exhilaration surged through Pher'ta. It was more than a simple study, it represented new frontiers not only for scientific understanding but for bridging interspecies relationships and fostering unknown cooperation. 2 days later. The ambient buzz of the bustling lab echoed against the symmetrical surfaces as the doors slid open. The human entered with Whiskers cradled in her arms like a prized artifact. Pher'ta greeted her, suppressing a tremor of thrill. This is Whiskers, she announced with unreserved affection. The cat flicked its tail, seemingly unimpressed and cursory regarding the surroundings. Observing her nonchalance, Pher'ta marveled at the juxtaposition of power and domestication. Why is she not alarmed by our presence? He noted, captivated. Is this a testament to her intellect or lack of caution? More like confidence, the human replied, setting Whiskers down. She's usually pretty chill. Gorgax approached, a mix of intrigue and skepticism unraveling across each metallic limb. Greet your feline, he instructed Pher'ta, snapping him back to the present. In response, Pher'ta extended one of his tentacles gingerly, hovering near Whiskers with cautious reverence. The cat stared, narrowing its eyes before gently rubbing against the warm appendage. An inexplicable bond sparked. Whiskers, as it turned out, was not merely a creature but a bridge between worlds. Observe, Pher'ta encouraged, pointing his free limb toward a cluster of small boxes standing at the far corner of the lab, deliberately arranged like obstacles. Let's see how she interacts with this exercise. Will her instinct navigate the parameters we set, or will she devise a strategy? Whiskers, who had been distracted by a dust mote dancing in the air, suddenly zipped toward the boxes. With graceful agility, she surveyed the obstacles, leaped over a lower one, nudging another to the side before slipping through the tiniest gap. A swish of her tail signaled victory, and their hearts soared at the spectacle. Did you see that? The human exclaimed, eyes sparkling. She's a genius. Gorgax promptly recorded the event. Not intelligence, he posited, it may very well be instinct. We cannot forge conclusions yet, Dr. Cresh. Pher'ta molded over while witnessing their cat strut in delight. Instinct does pave the way. Consider the nuances of adaptation and observation together. You molded Whiskers by providing her with challenges, like a test of strategy tuned linked to her instincts. As that thought settled, the dynamism of relationships shifted. The dialogue became richer, weaving through cultural layers that underscored subtle vulnerability. The human was no longer merely a species under observation but also a partner in this endeavor. Hours turned into a blur of excitement as they devised further exercises, stringently documenting adjustments. Whiskers' varied approaches illuminated innovative facets of tactical thinking alongside her innate abilities, a balancing act between instinctual prowess and learned behavior. By the end of the day, tired yet invigorated, the human and Pher'ta exchanged glances, an understanding passing through them as Whiskers curled up together on Pher'ta's lab coat. She exhaled softly, I didn't expect to learn so much about Whiskers today. I usually just think of her as a pet, I guess. Pher'ta's tone shifted earnest. Precisely. That momentary mind shift can reshape perspectives in real time. Why box her brilliance into mere companionship when you could cultivate her instincts akin to your own? There's something profound about humans and pets co-evolving, she mused, intrigue even in her exhaustion. Like, we design each other in ways we might not even realize. Or unleash capabilities of unparalleled consequence, Pher'ta replied, allure sharpening his expression. Tomorrow, scenarios involving increased distractions will provide insights into her adaptability further, a layer of the evolutionary dynamic. But as the sun set an hour later, a darker tension loomed over Kreegon. Regularly discussed in hushed tones, unfamiliar species had begun arriving, curious about the humans and their newfound partnerships with their smartest predator. The news came like a jolt, transmitted through compromised channels. Various voices echoed threats of conquest, fear heralded by competitive species observing the burgeoning human-feline alliance from afar. Whisker's extraordinary attributes had drawn attention, shifting alliances within the intergalactic community. Dr. Cresh stood up, heart racing in sync with the urgency coursing through him. We must work quickly. Our study, it supports a united front. If we're to tilt the pendulum towards understanding, we'll need to demonstrate that this collaboration embodies something greater. The human's nod was steady, fear gleaming at the edges of her curiosity. You're right. Whiskers can inspire humans to embrace their intelligence. Together, we might unveil more than just a study, we could forge alliances. A long day awaited them, filled with polished experiments and challenges, but the stakes had risen significantly. They were no longer two isolated entities, they were entwined in a saga that reached beyond their individual ambitions. Together they might resist newfound threats attempting to stifle their understanding, weaving a fabric of connection through their shared experiences. Unity through ingenuity, the profound complexities shaping that bond became a thematic backbone as Dr. Pher'ta Cresh and the human, inextricably linked by the enigma of Whiskers, prepared for each step ahead. As dawn cresting over Kreegon 7 cast ethereal colors across the sky, Dr. Pher'ta Cresh paced the sleek, metallic confines of his lab, anticipation mingling with trepidation. The recent revelations about the interspecies dynamics between humans and their cats were electrifying, but now an undeniable urgency pressed upon him. The nonchalant, yet undoubtedly capable feline named Whiskers had unwittingly drawn unwanted attention from other, less altruistic species across the galaxy. While deep in contemplation, the holographic interface emitted a soft chime, breaking Pher'ta's focus. Gorgax's mechanical voice resonated through the lab. Dr. Cresh, a communique from Lux Corporation is incoming. It appears they caught wind of Whiskers and her extraordinary problem-solving abilities. Pher'ta's eyes widened. The Lux Corporation was infamous in the galaxy for its ruthless acquisition of powerful entities. What do they want? He asked, his voice laced with a mix of dread and defiance. They propose an arrangement, a showcase. A demonstration of Whisker's talents in exchange for protection and sponsorship. Gorgax emitted a series of mechanical clicks. The terms are exploitative, leading to potential enslavement of both Whiskers and her human partner. It is a trap. Adrenaline surged through Pher'ta. We cannot allow that to happen. He swiftly tapped into the central database, scanning for potential allies. Gather all the intelligence we have about Lux Corporation's possible movements. As Gorgax worked diligently, Pher'ta's mind raced with strategies. Perhaps there was a way to turn this gambit into a demonstration of cat intelligence, one that showcased both Whisker's cleverness and humanity's ingenuity. We need a show of strength, a thrilling display of partnership versus corporate greed. As night fell, Pher'ta met with the human, whose name he had finally learned, Rachel. They gathered with Whiskers nestled comfortably in the crook of Rachel's arm. We have an important challenge ahead of us, Pher'ta outlined, his tentacle-like limbs animated with enthusiasm. Lux wants Whiskers, but we will turn that into an opportunity. Rachel hesitated, anxiety shadowing her features. What do you mean? We'll create a collaborative event, a competition that highlights the strength of our bond, challenges, and intelligence, a twist on their proposal. Show them that the true essence of teamwork surpasses simple utility. He looked deeply into her eyes. If we can choose the parameters, we can safeguard Whiskers while frustrating their ulterior motives. Rachel's eyes lit with an inkling of hope. All right. But how do we do that? Pher'ta relayed his plan. They would host a demonstration on open grounds, inviting Lux executives to witness a series of challenges requiring Whisker's thoughtful navigation through intricate courses that mimicked human environments, interlinking teamwork with instinct. Over the next several days, they pressed on with fervor. The trio practiced tirelessly. Whiskers navigated elaborate obstacle courses that blended toys and tasks engineered to stimulate both feline instincts and strategic prowess. Pher'ta interspersed challenges emphasizing careful human guidance while preserving the pet's autonomy. Rachel provided treats for every successful task, fostering a sense of acumen around each exercise and deepening their bond. Their united efforts culminated on the day of the event. The lush clearing of the Terran Institute of Advanced Cognizance was decorated with organic banners infused with light energy that pulsed against the vibrant flora. Spectators, including researchers and enthusiasts from myriad species, gathered to watch as news of the competition buzzed across the cosmos like wildfire. Among them loomed the imposing figure of Aelus Lux, the corporation's shrewd leader clad in sleek black armor, his demeanor cold as ice. He surveyed the arena, devoid of warmth or compassion. This was not merely business for him, this was a display of his superiority. Pher'ta, though physically small before Lux's grandeur, stood resolute. "Rachel," he whispered, "keep Whiskers close. We'll need to showcase intricate moves in a manner they cannot regulate." "Got it," she replied, her tone steadying and her courage solidifying. The moment arrived. Pher'ta stood beside Rachel at the center of the arena, his multiple arms raised to gather attention. "Welcome, esteemed spectators. Today, we demonstrate not simply a showcase of talent, but a paradigm of collaboration, the potential that arises when species coalesce as partners, as guardians, as friends." Excitement rippled through the crowd while Lux stepped forward, a smirk of disbelief curling his lips. "Is this really all there is? Human caretakers and their simple pets?" Pher'ta took note of the condescending smirk that marred Lux's expression. "You will see." He waved a hand, gesturing Rachel to move forward. "Bring forth our first challenge." And so, one by one, they began. Whiskers zipped through tunnels and conquered heights designed to test her agility, overcoming obstacles with finesse while Rachel's prompts guided her direction or redirected her energies when needed. Amusement quickly turned to awe as Whiskers employed methods that bewildered even the most seasoned observers. With each successful task, the dynamic interplay of human ingenuity and feline instinct flourished, weaving a vibrant narrative that resonated deeply across species boundaries. Then, Lux's disdain shifted, his incredulous features transformed into reluctant admiration, but the stakes continued to rise. Just as Pher'ta anticipated the culmination of their wet-earned success, Lux extended the gauntlet, unveiling a final challenge, the Lux Challenge. It involved navigating through a complex maze laced with optical distractions and audio stimulation. "Only the most superior creatures can succeed," he proclaimed, mocking the trio openly. Pher'ta's breath caught. "We can do this." He caught Rachel's worried gaze. Together. As Whiskers faced the challenge, her eyes gleamed with calculative understanding of the setup. Indeed, she realized the obstacles before her aligned almost perfectly with patterns of hunter and prey. Instinct took over, discarding doubt, and when Rachel called to her with the right cues, the duo functioned as a single organism. The maze entrance burst open, and Whiskers launched forward with gasping agility, almost appearing to fly. Her movements were fluid, shattering expectations and drawing raucous cheers from the crowd. However, the path wasn't without trials, the looming walls, scattered with contraptions designed to confuse, the mechanical sounds were menacing, each twist threatened to lead them astray. But in a beautiful moment of alignment, Rachel's encouragement combined seamlessly with Whiskers' invasive intuition as the cat wove through the challenges ahead, harnessing her natural instincts while leaning heavily on her human ally for vital cues. The tension in the air shifted palpably as Whiskers approached the end, claws skimming above surging walls, and with one last powerful leap, she soared through the exit, her brilliance unmasked. The crowd erupted, applause and cheers surrounding them like a warm tide. Lux's expression waned, his mask of arrogance slipping. Remarkable, he muttered, but the admission was drenched in the bitterness of defeat. Pher'ta turned towards the crowd, heart racing. Today, we have demonstrated more than talent. We've showcased the extraordinary potential of collaboration, building bridges between species that forge lasting alliances. His voice rang clear, penetrating through the cheers cascading within the crowd. Felines and their humans harness a brilliance that can redefine coexistence. Together, we are an unfettered force. And yet, even amidst overwhelming success, Lux raised an accusatory finger, the muscle of control firmly within his grasp. Surrender Whiskers to my corporation, her potential is too extraordinary to waste in frivolous play. His ultimatum resonated like the clang of a steel gate falling shut. Pher'ta observed Rachel, who stood firm beside him, a look of resolute determination brimming in her eyes. We cannot allow her to be exploited. Humans and their cats deserve to thrive together, not under the chains of a corporation. Then what will you do? Lux prodded, keen to see weakness. An idea sparked within Pher'ta. Why not create further engagement? That would outsmart Lux. We'll present one more challenge, he declared, heart racing. One that emphasizes what we've accomplished tonight and that every observation will happen in real time. A race against the clock between your best obstacle performers and Whiskers backed by Rachel. The stakes, you either secure our support or relinquish any claims to Whiskers. The onlookers murmured, intrigued, and whimpered with echoes of laughter, affection and admiration coursing anew. Lux recoiled momentarily before contemplating the proposal, the sudden glimmer of treachery in his eyes. Very well. Show me this supposed superior partnership in action. So they orchestrated the next act, a dazzling display of skill and cooperation, where humans and cats surged through an innovative course, encircled within Lux's own profit-driven arena. Laughter erupted amidst the chaos, with Whiskers boldly leaping alongside Rachel, tackling intricacies that reflected genuine camaraderie, creativity, and adaptability. As they sped through trials, hearts surged, an unexpected rhythm pulsed, establishing triumphant unity. Lux's team struggled to keep pace, and a realization rippled through the crowd. Here stood an essence that surpassed profit, an emergent potential that fueled further possibilities across the stars. Lux's arrogance reared its head one final time, but it could not mask the undeniable synergy blossoming at that moment. With the finish line etched into view, Whiskers soared ahead, the all-conquering predator of existence, piercing the nebulous boundaries that dared separate them. Rachel's spirit seeped into their actions, and they crossed triumphantly. Chants and applause surged, washing over the bewildered Lux, who remained silent and pale in the shadows, vague with disbelief. The crowd erupted in celebration, unified in the harmony they had witnessed, built through clever adaptation and genuine partnership. In the aftermath, amidst the petting and affection pouring toward Whiskers, Pher'ta's fanfare gratitude reflected brightly through friendly exchanges between species, a vibrant tapestry emerging rather than mere competition. Lux, however, simmered with indignation, the end of his ambitions clear before all present. Pher'ta approached him, curiosity guided his exploration. Your ambition is admirable. Pher'ta's voice carried weight, steady and thoughtful. But tell me, how much longer can you thrive amidst exploitation? Lux grit his teeth, rage bubbling behind simmering glory that had faltered, yet amidst it all, Pher'ta sensed a flicker beneath the facade. There is more to existence than ownership. You could redefine your legacy not through corporate greed, but through alliance and partnership too. Partnership? Lux sneered, though uncertainty twisted in his posture and tone. What benefits me in that? True strength lies in creativity, ingenuity, and promoting symbiotic relationships. Pher'ta gestured toward the boisterous crowd celebrating around Whiskers. You let the opportunity slip through your fingers. Look at what they have done through unity. Though Lux remained stoic, something else sparked momentarily, perhaps it was fear, or the glimmer of lost potential, yet Pher'ta recognized the signs of discontent written deeply across his features. Each soul encircling them radiated with laughter and joy, and a somber truth settled among all present. A realm filled with endless options awaited them outside the pursuit of greed, a vastness that beckoned towards opportunities forged in symbiosis. As day turned to dusk and the festivities continued, Rachel approached Pher'ta and Whiskers, smiling at the cat as if understanding the worlds they each safeguarded, not through ownership, but through shared wisdom. Your brilliance today astounded everyone, Whiskers. Champions of the cosmos. Rachel gently nuzzled against the furry head, the bond recognizable to all. Indeed, Pher'ta replied, his eyes sparkling with wonderment. We shall usher in an era of exploration together, where adaptation resides beyond our individual capabilities. Today has reaffirmed that we all strive, united, toward a purpose grander than ourselves. The sun dipped, casting an exquisite palette alongside the galaxy's swirling stars, but that night, beneath shimmering brilliance, they celebrated the deeper connections forged between species, life now intermingling forever in pairs, a notion promising endless traversal across the cosmos. As Rachel and Pher'ta raised glasses, giving cheers to companionship, their gazes cast toward the horizon, they anticipated adventures anew, navigating through universal channels filled with newfound respect and collaboration. Whiskers watched closely, seemingly aware that their world now explored possibilities unimaginable through the lens of purposeful interdependence. And as they cheered, it became apparent in that celebratory moment, strength could be woven from gentle nuances, life blossomed not by domination but by understanding, producing ripples across light years, intergalactic legacies renewed amongst the stars.